Chicago Cycling Network. And I'll tell you guys this. If you guys are watching this video today, it means that the Chicago Bears has beaten the Green Bay Packers by 31-27. This video was filmed 1 month ago. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, I'm a big fan. Congrats to Chicago. Let's keep it going. Anyway, guys, this is a beautiful day. We're here to talk about Chicago cycling, highlighting amazing people. And today we have somebody, again, that was introduced to me about maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. He didn't know this, but through Strava, and people were very impressed with what he was doing and say, oh man, this guy did some really amazing ththings. I'm like, oh, I didn't know who he was. And of course, he followed me on Strava, and we stalked each other, and then here we are. And again, I think he's doing some amazing things for Chicago, really highlighting what cycling should be, can be, and just bringing people together. And we're going to talk about all these different things, get to know him and how he fits in Chicago and why he's one of the person who makes Chicago an amazing place. Okay, guys. I mean, I just, every day I interview somebody and I learn things about people. It's just like, wow, we have these people in the network and they make Chicago just a spectacular place. All right. So let's sit back. We're going to have a conversation, get to learn about my friend right here, and we'll take it from there. So guys, again, thanks again for everybody being subscribing, spreading the word, talking about the channel, when you repost a story, because we're highlighting what makes Chicago awesome. Okay, guys, so let's keep it going. So let's introduce yourself and let's take it from there.
All right. Thank you, Omar. I appreciate it. So this will be filmed before the Bears are in the Super Bowl, you guys. So
we're making a prediction.
We'll make that. So my name is Ben O'Malley, and we've met before, actually. Omar, you were working the course marshal for the half marathon in the city of Chicago at one point. So my dad, Bob O'Malley, he knew you previously, so we did meet there. And before I even jump into anything, for anyone watching this who knows who I am, they probably know who my dad is, who is Bob O'Malley. And when I told my dad that I was going to be on here, he jumped on. He subscribed and he's watching videos. I guess he knows Tim. He knew some people that you already interviewed, and he says, "You need to do one thing, right?" And I said, "All right, what is it?" And he says, "You got to go and bring."
Okay, he's off camera, guys.
I'm off camera. You got to come in, and you got to bring in.
Oh my God!
Some red stripes. So.
This is awesome. Cheers.
To my dad. Thank you. So this is not my idea. I didn't do this at all. You mind if we open these?
Yes, we can.
We'll open these real quick. So it's.
I got to open it real quick. I got a church key somewhere.
That's Bob O'Malley. So
keep on talking because I'll be back.
So for my dad, who is definitely a part of my cycling story, we could use the pedals on your bike too, actually.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we could. Maybe I don't want to hurt your pedals. That's the real way to do it. He said you got to bring in some red stripes. All right, I got them. All right, did I? There we go.
Oh, perfect.
All right.
So, guys, that's totally a first. And there will be no editing because it wasn't planned. We're going to just keep it going.
I had to keep it secret.
So tasty. Thank you so much.
And Omar was telling me though before he's doing like a dry January. So
no, it's okay. I'll take a sip because it's a special occasion.
Well, yeah. So my name is Ben. I'm born and raised in Chicago, and I guess I grew up here more or less on the northwest side, so nearby Elston and Milwaukee and Superdog. I just had your normal American childhood where I grew up playing t-ball, little league, tackle football, basketball, going to summer camp in the summer, and that was it, right? And then the story really begins so my dad, he always had a bicycle, but where it really begins is me and my friends growing up, we lived right by Superdog, which is the entrance to the North Branch Trail. So like everybody in the neighborhood had bicycles to some extent, like a BMX bike, a mountain bike. And we had pegs and we would just ride around the neighborhood. We ride to different parks, and I'm talking like 5th grade, 6th grade. And we would ride our bikes to football practice after school and things like that. So everyone had a bike at one point. We were maybe like 10 to 15 kids, just anywhere from all the different schools up there on the north side of the city. And there was a point where, as a crew, we collectively started to explore the North Branch Trail, essentially. Gotcha. And so we were maybe like 12 years old, summertime Chicago, no jobs, living life, right? We're just out there on our bikes, exploring and having fun. And eventually we would wind up riding all the way to the Botanic Gardens and like lagoons. And then we were like jumping in the lagoons, swimming in the lagoons, and kids would be on BMX bikes and then like some kids didn't have bikes. So they'd be like, oh, well, you got to stand on the pegs for the whole way up to the BMX, to the Botanic Gardens. And we would
That's
do
life. That's living.
Yeah. No phones at the time too, or maybe like rudimentary, like early phones. And so I just came from one of my friend's house too, who was one of these early riders, like Jimmy, Jared, Tommy G, Nicky, Adam Malaraj, Sean O'Boyle, even. Like there's a handful, Danny Hyde, like a bunch of kids, and we all would go up, and we were like rambunctious, running around Botanic Gardens then, like playing like catch one, catch all, like mischievous, and yeah, it was like that's where it began.
So amazing that you're mentioning all these names. So you guys are still friends to this day,
more or less. Yeah, I mean, some kids have moved on and like moved out of state, so you don't see them as much anymore. But there are anyone who hears this story and did this at one point, they would be like, yeah, like,
I remember.
Oh man, it
nostalgia.
Was like, it was a moment. It was a moment where like maybe 2 summers we were like obsessed with biking on the trail for whatever reason, and we would have like smoke bombs and stuff, and we'd be like throwing smoke bombs at people and riding our bikes past them, where we'd have our butts showing as we'd race past like, old people on the, that's like how we thought it was so fun. And it was fun, right?
Yeah, but we have to be careful because today we're in a different world.
Yeah, we were out of crazy, I mean, we were 12 years old, right? So that was
yeah, nobody got hurt, okay?
No.
Kids have to be kids, we do stupid stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, and we weren't great cyclists either. So there was like, kids are like crashing and stuff too. And it's like, and then we'd have kids come with us, and we would get them all the way up to Botanic. And next thing you know, it's like, they're destroyed, right? They just rode 15 miles on a BMX bike. They're like crying and calling for help to get home, right? They're like, and then we'd abandon them too. We're like, I don't know. We had to leave them up there, and we left. And it's like, we'd see them in class the next day, and we're like, how'd you get home? And they're like, I had to call my brother to come and pick me up. So that's really where it began. And then, like I said, my dad he would ride. He had a road bike, like an old steel bike, but he like wasn't wearing a helmet. I think he had bibs and a jersey. So essentially it transitioned to where we were doing this type of like adventures on the North Branch. And then I was able to say to him like, hey, can you take me out? Or I want to like maybe get a road bike. And, and that's where then he was able to help me and support me. And then I eventually like upgraded from an old Bridgestone mountain bike to like a giant OCR2 off Craigslist. And then it was like at the point of all of our lives where then, we were all going into high school, and kids kind of went their own way with, partying, girls, whatever, and everything else. And then I just was like, bikes. It's like I never stopped from that moment, right? It just was like everyone did their thing, or then pursued like football in high school, or kept it going. And I just was like, no, I just want to keep riding on the North Branch Trail, you guys. Like, why are we stopping riding on the North Branch Trail every summer?
Yeah, because I noticed that most of your bike rides, you just head up through Evanston and you go up to Waukegan and back. Like, that's like your favorite bike route.
No, not really. Not really. That I could tell you. Well, that's because my work right now is in Waukegan. So I commute home by bicycle. I ride all the way home. That's what my career in cycling has become now, is just riding home from work. But I could get into that. That's where we're at now. But that's how obsessed I am still. Like, I mean, I'm talking, what is it, 15 years from now, of still like being 100% engaged in cycling, but to where I will wake up, get on the train every morning to go to my job in Waukegan 5 days a week. I take the train all the way to North Chicago, bike 3 miles into the office, do my job, And most days I will then
Let's bike home.
crush 40 miles home. Because you got to put it in. You got to.
Have you ever run into Andrew Sparks when you're Andrew Sparks?
I know. I've met. Yeah, I know he does this similar thing too. Yeah,
because you ride him a little bit. You ride. He goes to the Bunny Trail and just take up North Chicago, and he's like in the area he works.
He's got even a further commute than I do. Actually, I think I saw his. He's all the way up in Wisconsin.
Yeah, you young kids. You can
no, I have no responsibilities. I don't have no kids, nothing. So you're right.
Have fun.
You got to take advantage of that.
Yeah. So with your last day being, I was thinking about this being Amali, or as you pronounce it. Are you related to Tim Amali from Evolution?
We're not. No, I'm not.
Sure.
I know. I don't know if I've met him. My dad knows Tim.
You should know
right
Tim.
away, he was like, "Oh, Tim, that's who he was watching."
Yeah, because Tim is an old school. He's like true OG in Chicago, go ways back in the days. And when I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, Ben and Tim, like, are you guys related? But no connection.
There's a couple. I mean, even growing up, there was a few O'Malley's that were in the neighborhood, but no connection.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
wow.
I don't know.
Interesting. Because if I meet a Nelson,
we're like South Side O'Malley's, not North Side O'Malley's.
But I think he's from Philly or something. So
okay,
and then he might have moved in there. So I don't remember clearly, but that's pretty wild. That there's no connection. So I know you. I know you through that you put on a ride every year. And I think it's one of the coolest concepts I've ever seen for like a local ride. And it's so different. And I'm telling you, I was supposed to do it last year, but I wasn't in town. And if I'm in town this year, I'll be there because I think the idea is just amazing. And I'm going to sign up and let's go from there. So please tell people, like, what am I talking about? You because you own it. So you know all the details.
Should we pull out more stuff from my bag of tricks, you guys?
Why not? How you came up with the idea? What's the inspiration? Like, we want to know.
All right.
And if it goes off camera, guys, it's okay. We didn't plan this. All right. This wasn't planned. It wasn't planned. But this is what it's all about. We do things right here, right now. That's it. So let us know. He's gonna get his stuff, guys. So again, this is what makes White Chicago, I think, is just a beautiful place to be.
What size jersey are you, Omar? You think medium or a large?
Medium.
Medium, yeah, that's what I figured.
So he has all the cool stuff, and he's gonna bring them out.
Man,
and let us know. So let's wait for it, and you shall see. So
it's like week past Christmas. So man, well, if anybody I think deserves it, it's Omar, because even though I've kind of out of the loop a little bit, even though you're so active, and I guess I have a presence too. It's like I'm not showing up to the Wednesday nights, but you, Patty, and Dean have like a presence right now in the Chicago scene. So you deserve all this stuff.
Wow. But, thank you. Thanks, guys. Look at this.
So Tour de Chi is, I guess, my event. I'm the director, the official director of this event right now.
Yep, there it is.
Tour de Chi. And it is the official epic bike ride to all 77 community areas of the city of Chicago in one day. That's what it is. So really, it's a 150-mile epic bike ride where you start downtown Chicago. Right now, it's downtown Chicago, and you will over 150 miles. That's pretty much. It's hard to figure out a way to make it any more or less. But you hit all 77 unique community areas of the city that all have their own special histories and different vibes and beautiful sights and Yeah, it's really, really a great day, and it's the best way to see the whole city of Chicago, I think.
So how do you come up with the idea for this?
Well, I mean, okay, so the roots of this is that at the end of the day, I am a cyclist, right? So I like who I am, and like my obsession is biking, and then even in the cycling realm. So I'm a road cyclist. So like when I got into cycling here in Chicago, I was racing road races and crits predominantly, and then maybe a little bit later, I did a little bit of velodrome racing,
okay.
But it was never like my forte, or never what I was like really passionate about. And then even then in road cycling, I think what I eventually evolved into was more of like an endurance long distance type rider. So I just love doing like epic rides, right? So like I'm a guy who likes to do like a 6-hour training ride just because it's fun, right? Like just because you explore. It's,
yeah.
so it's like I love that, right? And like I'll daydream about that, and that's like what I think. I'm like, man, like when's the next time I get to go and do a 6-hour bike ride, right? I'm like, it's like a drug, you know. So to do this was like a good challenge, right? Like it's 150 miles. It's a hard day. It's gonna be a hard, epic day on the bike. But the original idea for this really, it sounds crazy, but so I graduated college.
Where was college?
I went to Colorado State University, and I had been racing my whole time there it was a 4.5-year program for me. And I was really involved in the club there. I was the president at one point of the club there. So I was like really engaged with the club. You know, we would travel to races. I was really into racing and was trying to, you know, I like wanted to be pro, right? That was like the vision was like, how do I be pro, or how do you do something where I don't have to have a job? You know, like I need to not have a job so I could ride my bike all day, you guys. Like that's the goal. That was the goal. And that was like everything. And so it didn't really come out like that. And I had to graduate, and then I moved home. My parents are like, you got to get a job.
What about my bike? What about my bike?
It was brutal. And so then I'm like, well, so I get a job, right? And I'm like, all right, we got to work, you know, and then I learn how to work, and I want to do good at work and do my job. But then in the back of my mind is still this like obsession where it's like, I can't quit cycling, right? So there's a whole discussion where people, they like either they burn out or they hit a certain point in their life and they stop. You can't quit,
but it's time to adult.
Yeah, it somehow something had to happen. And so then I'm like back in Chicago. So I was living in Colorado, and it's colder. It's much colder back in Chicago. And I had been since 4 or 5 years now, not really been in Chicago winter. So I almost forgot how like tough they could be. And then you're working. So I got obsessed with the TV show Survivor. Right. Right. Okay. I was like, man, I want to be on a beach. I want to win $1 million. And
I don't want to get voted off the island.
Yeah. Everything about Survivor to me, like, and I grew up watching it as a kid too. So it's like, I grew up as a kid watching like the early shows with Rupert and Boston Rob and Russell Hantz.
I know those guys. I was a kid, but I did watch it.
Yeah. I mean, the best show ever, right? The best show ever. And, so in 2020, it kind of got like a reboot after their Epic 40, and then I stopped watching it for like a long time. But then I got back into it, and I was like, damn, like I want to get on Survivor, so I applied. Right, I'm applying for Survivor, and I'm not getting casted. Right, I'm not getting on it, and it's like, okay, after like I applied and you don't get on it, you kind of are like, well, I got to come up with. So I had to like express to them deeply that I'm like this cyclist. Like I was like, I should be on the show because I ride my bike all day, right? Like, put me on the show.
That's
like,
an awesome story.
And I love fishing too. Like, that's another just hobby of mine. I love, you know, any chance I can get to go to Florida and just
like
be in the
fish,
sun.
or do you spear or dive?
Well, I don't do that yet. I could get into that one day, but I've traditionally just done hand reel. So just like checked every box. You know, I'm like, yeah, I could sit on a beach, like totally, like that's all I wanted. So. The original, so then it like kind of evolves to like, all right, well, I got to start making like, I got to do like these epic things and put them on YouTube. And then like, so then the casting directors will see the YouTube videos and then they'll get me. And like the first idea I had was I'm going to bike across the country. That was really the first idea. And this was like 2022. So I had this really rough plan where I ended up taking a train to New York and started biking across the country with no real plan. Like I had a backpack with like one change of clothes. It was insane what I did. I hit a pothole on day 2. The first day I came in at like 10 p.m. It was nuts. It was like, I was building like 140-mile routes the second day I hit a pothole, crash, and broke my collarbone. And I was like, thank God, thank God, I'm done. Thank God. It was hell for 2 days. It was hell, 2 days of hell. So like, okay, that was a bust, but then I was like, all right, well, that still proves that I'm crazy enough to be on Survivor.
Okay.
And then I was like, well, then let's do something else. And then I was like, we should do, and I was living with my roommates, who one of them was like a videographer for the city of Chicago, or he makes like Chicago themed videos. Danny Guillen, Capture Chicago is his name. And then my other roommate was a fireman. So we're like Chicago themed now, right? So we're like, we could do like a video where we go to all the neighborhoods and like fly a drone around, not cycling related, but still like YouTube focused now. And then the next one was like, oh, what if we did like catch and cook on the lakefront, where they go and they catch the food and then they got to eat it. And then we're like, we're going to do a survival challenge. I never got around to doing
this. This is
a survival challenge on the lakefront, where I'm like, all right, we have to live for 3 days and you can't eat anything but what you can catch. So like, we're going to be out there not catching anything for 3 days. Right. Like, wow. Sleeping in this is like because it's Survivor, right?
Correct. No, you're training. You're getting ready mentally and physically.
Yeah, but nobody's done it where they're doing Survivor challenges on Chicago's lakefront path, or whatever. And then the other one was, somehow it came about where I was like, well, what if I ride my bike to all the 77 neighborhoods? That was the third one that kind of came about.
I can tell you, it's a good thing you were in training for Naked and Alone or something like that. Because
okay.
on the lake top, because that would have not been.
No, yeah. I would be on Northerly Island. It would be my island, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. So
that was the idea then, and then it came out where like during the winter time, that was one. It kind of came in passing. Like I had written down a note of like 5 ideas just to kill time. Like it was a hobby at this point too, to like kind of come up with videos and make like little videos. And it was just a casual. It was literally on the same list as Survivor challenge on the lakefront, and then bike ride to all 77 neighborhoods. Like no differentiation in my mind. Like to me, they were like equal. And then as I thought about it more, I was like, well, what's more pragmatic for me to do? Probably the 77 neighborhood ones by bike. And then once I started thinking about it more, the step first was actually planning out the route. So then I'm like, oh, all right, now like we have to plan out the route. And then originally I'm like, I could film it. And then what do I do? Do I have to like stop in every neighborhood and do like a vlog or something? And then I started thinking about it even more. And then there was like an epiphany where I kind of came to the conclusion that this is essentially nobody's done this before, gone to all the neighborhoods in one day.
In one ride.
Which might not seem like that big of a deal, but at the time for Chicago, it's like a weird underground like challenge that nobody had done yet, which for Chicago, people love this, like, like they love going to all the different train stations in one day. And it was like, so it was kind of like a eureka. I was like, holy shit, like I don't need to document anything. I just have to successfully do it maybe.
And have it in Strava.
Yeah, and put it up. And it seems like, and it was, and so I planned it out and kind of had it prepped in my head for a couple weeks and was doing all my other stuff that I had to do that summer. I work for Bicycle Illinois, which could be a whole nother topic, but I work for a guy who runs other cycling events in Chicago and the Midwest. So I was doing events for him that summer. I think I had worked RAGBRAI the week before. Like,
yes, I saw that you're a bike transport person or something.
I just help with him transporting bikes for RAGBRAI. Yeah,
wow, that's pretty awesome.
And then I did it. So I did the ride. I made sure to film it. I put it on Strava, and that was it. And then really what happened was my fireman roommate, he was like, "Yo," I put it on Twitter actually, and it blew up. It got like 1,000 likes on Twitter just naturally. So there was like people reacted. A lot of the people who we're big on Chicago Twitter, like Eric Alex Rogers, who have like presence, like talking about Chicago urban stuff, or like Matt Weiss, like they like saw it and like respected it, right? And
I respect that. Everybody should respect that. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and so that's how it came about. Was like an accidental happenstance of me thinking of ideas for the TV show, for the resume, for the application for Survivor, because I didn't want to be in Chicago in the winter. To then do this ride. That was the origin.
That's the inspiration. So like knowing this now, knowing the backstory, even going to make this ride even more epic.
It's Survivor. Yeah, it's Survivor, you guys. It's not quite.
So what year? So you're in what year?
This is 2023 then, when I did the ride.
Okay, and you did it 24.
All right, so then my fireman roommate, Jimmy, he says, you got to send this into the news. Like he was saying, like he gave me the kudos to like, yo, send that in. And so I sent it into Block Club, just like the Twitter post and the video. And then they followed up and wrote an article about it, me doing this little ride. And that one then even got more momentum where it got like 2,000 likes on Facebook, I think, on their post. So like a lot of people then became aware of this. And then a guy actually reached out to me and did a TikTok about me. So it was like it went viral, right? So it went viral. And then I then recognized, and almost all the comments were super positive. And then like half of them were saying, I want to do this too. So then it was obvious where we got to turn this into an event, right? And then the rest is history. So
when did it become an event first?
2024 was really the first year. And then this year, past year, 2025 was year number 2.
Yeah,
so
man, I tell you, I saw it and I went, this is pretty awesome. And I didn't realize you're the one that was, I'm like, wait a minute. That's the connection that I'm seeing now. And I'm like, I really want to do it, but again, I wasn't in town. And
it's all right.
And for this year, it's on June 27th, I remember.
Saturday, June 27th, yeah.
Yeah, see, because I've been looking, because I'm trying to lock in so I can actually get to do it.
Okay.
Because I'm down like 100%. let's get it done.
I'm just thinking about no rain. That's all I think about right now.
Man,
guys,
rain or shine. Rain is not too bad. The cold is the problem. Because if it rains, it can dry. If it rains, it's even more survivor, man.
Oh,
you might do this now and get called next, whatever. You know?
I've given up on that, actually. No interest in that.
As somebody who's been to the mountaintop, it's all about having these small successes. Because this is what you're saying, from making TikTok videos, your roommate, doing all these different things, and all these small successes add up to a bigger success. And here you are. And I hope, like, when people watch this video and see, they can be like, oh, that's, what, I want to do it. I want to do it too, So is there a fee to do this ride, or how does it work? Do you guys go as a group in phase?
It's like,
how does it work? Is your time cut off?
Not yet. No, not yet. Well, no time cut off. I want to make sure everyone is safe, but also there's safety in numbers. So the first year I opened it up and I was doing like marketing. I didn't really do any I wouldn't say I did marketing. I just did what I understood to be the bare requirements for running an event, which is you need to have a permit and you need like insurance. So if like something were to go wrong, that like you don't get sued. And so I've done like the basics, and that's basically where I keep it. And so legally it's all okay. And if it gets to the point where I need to work with the city, then you got to do that too. But like 30 people showed up the first year in 2024, and it was a $10 registration fee. Like I basically said like $10 and show up. And then of the 30, about half of us finished the whole thing. So then it was like, it was an epic ride. And then it proved too that like, okay, like more like this is a doable ride it took us like the whole day. We finished like 10 PM, but it was epic. And you like, this can be done, right? Like now. And then I don't know, last year, I guess I didn't change the formula at all. It's just an open reg on Bike Reg. I think I doubled the reg fee to $20 then, because now we have to, we need more food, right? So now we need to support with rest stations. So it's like we got to grow.
So you have rest station and everything too.
Last year we had 2 rest stations at like mile 40 and 80. And then we pass by Superdog at mile 120. So it's like an obvious stopping place to stop at Superdog and get a Superdog and like enjoy Chicago, like take advantage of. We stop in Humboldt Park and stop at the food trucks in Humboldt Park. So it's like a mix and match, because my first ride when I did it in 2023, I literally went out with no food on me, no cycling ride food. So like my experience was I stopped at a hot dog stand, and then I also stopped at Sharks for fried shrimp and French fries and banana pudding. So like in my head, it's like, I don't want this to be like a performance, like race too. It's like, you want it to be something where
people can soak in the scene and enjoy the ride.
Yeah, basically. Something with the city, right? You want it to be more like city. So if the rest station does, it's like got bananas, like the basics, right? But also we want to get Chicago businesses involved.
Wow, guys, this is epic. And I'm looking at the water bottle. It has the map on it, which is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's pretty cool. So, and I guess you basically will
it's getting updated a little bit.
Yeah. So you can load this up before the ride, load it on your
it's like everything else, like any other event. So we actually the coolest part is if you do just the full south side, and once you get back towards like basically you hit the United Center juncture, if you cut back straight into downtown, that's 100 miles. So if you don't have to do the full thing, you could just bang out the full south side for 100 miles. And actually, I think I did a little route scouting, and you could do 62 miles as well for like a solid portion of the first half of the ride, and then you basically would come back through the lakefront. So
Yeah,
we're growing it.
But the goal is you want people to do everything.
It's on you. You got to want to do everything. Can you do it, right? Do you think you got what it takes?
Can you survive?
Can you? Do you want to see all of Chicago in one day? Or it's epic. I think you should.
No, I think the idea is brilliant.
I think you can do it.
It's brilliant. And when I learned about it, it's like, wow, this is pretty cool. So again, just knowing the backstory just make this thing even more epic and more. Please watch it, because we're gonna have a big crowd out. Because a lot of people want to do the Michigami and the Minigami, which and I think this is like another unique thing about Chicago, that we have Michigami, Minigami. Now we have Tour de Chai.
Lake Michigan too. Yeah. Yeah, we do. Yeah, we have Lake Michigan. That's a hard ride. That's a long day.
Yeah. But what
that's a real long ride.
And what time you started this one? What time do you start typically?
Right now we're meeting at 6:30 a.m. at Randolph and the Lakefront Path. So
yeah, I know. Yeah,
tees up right there, kind of close to Millennium Park, the Navy Pier, and then as of now, it's really still, we'll say, underground. So basically, you show up. It's on you to pay the reg, right? Please, if you can do it. I'm not going to be handing out wristbands and checking reg numbers yet, but
in Chicago, cyclists were very honorable, so we understand. So yeah,
and it was so the first year was 30 people, but actually it's a much smaller group. We did the whole thing together, really, and so people spat off, like they kind of went away, but for the most part, we kept the whole thing. This past year was like 60 or 50 to 60 people showed up. So then it's now doubled. And again, you don't know what it's like when 50 people show up to do this. You're just kind of like, let's see how it goes. And it was way more fun, honestly, in the sense that like we took over the whole road. People were saying that this was critical mass throughout the whole city. So I have actually really never done a critical mass. I've done a streets calling ride, but we kind of take over, and you're flying down these roads like Garfield Boulevard, and you got to yell at the guy to, hey, don't go in the other lane, like, hey, let's try and keep it under control a little bit. So yeah, I think the more riders that show up, ultimately it's better, right?
Yeah. No,
but there are choke points, because you do have to kind of like narrow in on some of these bike lanes.
Well, as you mentioned before, if you get the city involved more, then I can help you out with more logistics and stuff. So let's see how it plays out. But I think this is, again, a brilliant idea, and I'm on board. And I'm telling you, if I'm in town on June 27th, I'm in.
All right.
I know we probably got a vacation sometime there, because we're going to go to Lake Liacon or something like that. So, but let's see how things. Yeah. But if I'm in town, because it's like 2 weeks after my birthday anyway. I'm hitting 45.
Okay.
June, so let's see how it plays out.
All right.
What is this, man? This is.
So that's it.
So that's how the guy.
That's it. It's just awesome. One day. It's a one day on the calendar, June 27th. But there's everything else on the calendar still too. You got all these other events, intelligentsia, all that stuff. So. One day.
Yeah, but again, the type of ride is you're gonna attract. This ride versus like Intel is like completely different.
It is.
It's a different crowd.
Yeah,
because we have like more endurance people who want to do, and then you have like the critters and
I'd like for those guys to do this one day, like to alley cat this, but also it's like, don't get yourself killed, right? Like do not be right. You got to be safe in traffic. But if you are an alley cat type of person, then you could totally show up to this and send it if you wanted it to. I'm not gonna, technically I can't stop you, right?
They're awesome. Yeah, you cannot. But they'll be well behaved. Yeah. So I've just been thinking about, you talk about you're biking at Colorado State. So what was that like?
Well, I went to CSU. Yeah, and this is a good story too, in a little way. So back in the day, I was on the team Triple X. That's where I started with cycling. That's who took me in, and how I really experienced racing. It was a part of the team. I mean, I'm definitely a Triple X alumni, right? And it was my dad who met the coach at the time, Randy Warren. They were doing the Toys for Tots ride, and Randy said to my dad, he's like, hey, I have this kid who is sort of into biking. And then Randy's like, well, come to the meeting, right? Come to this team meeting. And that's what we did. And then I had since then met Kyle Mindick and Nikos Hessert, who were then juniors at the time. So I had like some friends, and went to Colorado State after racing with Triple X for 4 years. And at Colorado State was Randy Warren's nephew, Taylor Warren. So then I had this connection of this other guy, Taylor, and so then it was like all about bikes then too. That's all we cared about. That's all we cared about. I mean, yeah, like if I think about college, it was like, yeah, I didn't, I went to class, but I really went to for cycling, right? I did not go to class. I didn't go to study. I went so I could ride my bike and race.
So when you were there, what did you study when you were?
I studied mechanical engineering, actually.
But you did finish studies and all the good stuff.
I did. I graduated. Yeah, I got my degree.
I know you're working with. Are you using?
And
now?
I am a mechanical engineer right now. Yeah.
Winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I mean, I guess I was my background is a bike mechanic. So like almost all the cyclists freshman year, we were all mechanical engineers going into it because we all worked as bike mechanics. So I worked at Edgebrook Cycle on Devon and Central on the north side. And then, so everyone's a mechanical guy because we're all bike mechanics. And there was a point where it was not easy, right? We were like, it was really hard.
Time is important. You want to be a bike, but you have to put the work in studying.
Yeah. and there was a moment where I was like, I should switch my major or something. And the only reason I didn't really was because if I did, it would take me longer
to finish.
Yeah, instead. Gotcha. So I said, I'm just going to dig it out. That was what happened. And I guess I enjoyed it too. There was some good people I met, and I learned a lot.
Yeah. So like, what would be some of the rides that you do when you're in college? Like mountain.
Oh yeah. I got a good story too. Yeah. So the collegiate calendar is like all the college schools in Colorado host a weekend race in the spring. And then they also do the same thing in the fall for mountain bikes. So, but in the spring, it's CSU, our school, we host, a Saturday, Sunday. Saturday is a road race, kind of in the Front Range, and then Sunday would be a crit on campus. And so all these schools did it. So
what distance we're talking about for the road race?
Probably like 60 or so miles. Okay. Yeah, 100K, and then an hour-long crit. And then it'd be collegiate A's, B's, and C's. It's broken down like ABC. And then we would do the A's because I was like a Cat 2, so I was being in the A's.
That's legit.
And then there were some guys who were like almost pros. Right? Okay, so like Colorado, Denver, Boulder hosted a weekend. Colorado Mesa, so we're Henry Lutz from Chicago too, who I actually knew him back in the day. Not like we were friends, but I was like I recognize that guy.
You guys could be brothers, man. You guys look alike, same body structure and everything.
Yeah. He's unfortunately he's a little faster than me.
The kid is a beast.
I was like, damn it. Yeah, I remember that. I was like, okay, so I think
But I think he's gonna be from. I think he's from Milwaukee, right? So I think him and Simone and Tyler, Skyler, they used to be at Legion. Like all these people are from the same area in Milwaukee. So that's where you need to go.
Okay. No, we can't leave Chicago. No, right? He moved. He's in. Yeah, I said. I was like, I don't know how long if he's gonna.
But he was originally from the Milwaukee area. Like all these guys, which I didn't realize until recently.
Okay.
Yeah.
He is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it was like there's a lot of Chicagoans and Midwesterners who were out there at that time who, my friend group was all out of this town though. So I was with CSU though, but like you kind of sort of remember some people and maybe whatever, but Durango as well. Fort Lewis was another school. And then they were in their own program where they're a varsity school versus us. We were a club team. So like, and then when we went to like, they hosted once a year national championships for the collegiate, and the clubs all raced against each other. And then the varsity schools raced against each other. So like, we raced against Boulder and who else was like the University of Madison. And then like the kids who went to Fort Lewis, they raced against like Marion and Grand Junction or Mesa. But Colorado all raced against each other. And yeah, we did that in the spring. So it would be like every weekend you'd go out. And I thought I was like, I never thought I was like amazingly fast. I wanted to be faster than I think I was in actuality. Like I was I have some results I certainly am proud of.
Like what? Name.
Well, my best result ever, I think personally, was I was 9th in collegiate nationals, the club road race in Colorado. So out of like 125 kids maybe from across the nation.
Like about the best of the best of the best. Like
yeah, Eric Bruner won the race, and he right now is the USA men's cyclocross national champion in the elites. So he still is ripping legs off. Who was second? I think a Boulder kid, Grant Elwood. And then my other teammate, Chaz Hogenauer, was 3rd that year. But then I was in like the 6-man chase group.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, damn, I made the chase group. That was, for me, that was the best raid I probably have done. So that was a good one. That was good. That was, other than that, what was I thinking about? Okay, so it's like you think you're fast, right? Coming from the Midwest, and I go to Colorado, and it's like, you know what?
You edge,
when Sepp Kuss is in your race against you, and you go up this hill, and he pulls over to go pee, and you're dying. You're barely hanging on the group, and this kid pulls over and goes to the bathroom, and gets on you before the end of the climb and flies around you like nothing's happening. You're like,
it's demoralizing.
I wanted to say demoralizing. I just remember that. I was like, okay, so that's how fast it takes to be like world tour, to win the Vuelta a España, right? Yeah, he raced against us. So at one point they like made him race road for a year before. He was like a professional mountain biker, actually, his background.
Yeah. I followed him a little bit. So
they had him race collegiate against us. So that was probably the coolest like highlight of our collegiate series. Was like we had one guy, like, you know, a lot of people out there will, I think they say him all the time. They're like, oh, we raced against him, or we were teammates with him. He is probably the biggest American cyclist right now, I think, results wise.
What about that guy with the mustache that was in Tour de France? That was like pulling
Quinn Simmons? Yeah. I
I
would still give it to Sepp. Yeah, Quinn Simmons, he's a Durango guy too. Yeah, he's extremely strong.
Yeah, he's killing it, man.
But I gotta give it to Sepp. He won the Vuelta a España. That's crazy. That's a big one.
To win it, any road race
coming up. There's some other strong cyclists though coming up too in the U.S.
Well, let's see what NCAP is. This has a team coming up, so let's see how that pans out in the next couple of years, because we need some clean riders.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Some clean folks back at it again. So just from my own knowledge, in college, who provided the bikes?
We did. Yeah, we had to still.
You have to provide your own bike, so you bought your own bike and everything. So everybody on their own whatever you use. Yeah,
and you'd have guys maybe on like domestic elite trade teams in racing collegiate. Like I was on elite. I was on Ego Sammy's, which was they gave us like a bike for a season. Like I was on maybe 2 years where I was given a bike for the season and then gave it away. I had to give it back.
Gotcha.
But there were guys who were getting them every year.
So were these rim brake or disc brake?
They were all rim brake at the time, and.
Really?
Yeah, everything was rim brake.
Even all those climbs and everything, people were still doing rim brakes?
Oh, yeah, that's what 100%. I mean, this is like 2015 to 2018.
Rim brake was the thing back then?
Oh, it was the only thing at the time, yeah.
I would have never thought. I thought
100%
disc brake was like the thing.
I had a friend, Ian Whaley, who was my teammate. He was on one of the first rim brake road bikes at the time, Van Dessel, the brand Van Dessel. I want to say them and maybe Specialized was putting a couple of their World Tour riders on a couple disc brake or rim brake road bikes in the maybe 2018, 2019, and people were like at it. They were like, get him out of the peloton.
Was it Sagan who rode the last rim brake that he won some state or something? I think it might have been. I'm not sure, but I know he rode some rim brake bike that they finally retired of some sort.
Who?
Sagan. Was it Sagan?
Oh, Peter Sagan, yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah, but somebody I know rode some rim brake bike that actually won a state or something like that at a tour.
Well, he was running it originally. It had no hydro. It was just mechanical still. But no, I don't know when the whole transition happened, but no, I've been on rim brake my whole career, even in Colorado. And so like, I don't have any other perspective otherwise of descending downhill. Back in the day, it was a rim brake bike was no problem. It was blowing up if you were running carbon clinchers,
right,
and you would overheat the rim going downhill on like a mountain pass, and it would just blow up.
Yeah, we're not supposed to use a brake. You're going downhill.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Then you fly over the barricade.
I know, right? Oh,
Say,
yeah.
I'm gonna send it.
Wow.
No.
Wow. So now are you more kind of a rim brake or disc brake or?
I'm
where are you?
100% rim brake road bike still. So again, like my perspective. Well, I have a lot of reasons, I guess. So like when the transition, in my opinion, happened, it was like Tadej Pogacar won the 2020 Tour de France still on rim brakes. It was 2021.
Maybe it's him, but I know somebody who did some amazing stuff on rim brake, and people are like, wait a minute, huh? Yeah.
I think like half the pro peloton was like more or less like still on rim brake at like 2020, and then maybe 2021 still too. But right now the whole peloton is
this
100%. I don't even think they're selling rim brake stuff anymore.
Yeah, that's
new stuff.
like a dinosaur. Yeah.
So it came and went, but in my head, like I had still like enough bikes and wheels in my inventory that I couldn't justify scrapping
Switching
everything. And then too, it's like, okay, finally I'm working a real job, so I'm getting money. Well, I'm like oohing and awing. Like, I'm like, damn, like I want the bikes that I've been like oohing and awing over for like the last 5 years, right? I'm like broke. I'm in high school, college. I don't have Dura-Ace. I don't have SRAM Red. So I get out of college, I get all this money, and I'm like buying
Make it rain.
SRAM Red. I got some Zip 202s. You know how bad I wanted Zip 202s?
Those are amazing climbing wheels, right?
Yeah, they were like, oh my God, you were a doctor or a dentist. Only doctors or dentists rode Zip 202s, you guys, back in the day. Right? You'd be like, oh, look at the doctor and dentist on his Zip 202s. And it was like, oh, I just picked up a pair of Zip 202s for like a steal, right? Like for free, basically. So my whole fleet is like decked out right now of like the top of the line from 2016.
So what's in your fleet? How many bikes do you have and what's in your fleet?
I have Lapierre, two Lapierre Zelius, which have one, they're like 2016 bikes, right? 2014 maybe. A BH Ultralight with Dura-Ace 9000 Di2 with the 202s on it. I have a Trek Madone 2011 with SRAM Red, handmade in the USA though. So that's like
handmade or hand assembled? Because I know
handmade. The carbon fiber is the last where it was made in the USA, where they did the layup, and then I'm like on eBay, looking around on eBay, and I'm like, damn it, there's a Trek Madone, the same exact bike. I had just bought this frame that is like really nice. It was like cheap too, whatever, like $800. Not cheap.
That's not like, let's say inexpensive.
For a toy, $800 is still a lot of money. And then I'm like looking at another bike, and it's the same thing. It's the exact same bike, same size, but it's like the Project One paint job of the old Livestrong Lance Armstrong.
Mm-hmm.
We could bring up Lance too, but and I was like, I look at the guy, and he's in Wheaton, Illinois, and I DM'd him. I'm like, yo, can we work outside of eBay? And so I bought that from him, saved us some money, you know.
Gotcha. By the way, I have a Trek Madone, like a real one. So in the corner, I'll show you later.
Oh, all right.
And it's a rim brake, and I got that bike for $108. The frame.
Oh, okay.
Then I built it myself, rim brake. I'll show you a bit later. And then that bike is over there. That's kind of like a Tantan X34.
Uh-huh.
But I call it, it's actually Mad One. It's not Mad One.
Mad One.
It's Mad One.
Yeah. I didn't realize that. Yeah, it is Mad One. Did you notice that? I didn't know that for a while.
Because I couldn't afford one. And then Patrick gave me this frame for free. And it's actually like Tegra Group set on it.
Okay. Yeah, I got some Ultegra. It's all, yeah, I got that.
It works. And then at one point, because I really couldn't afford S-Works, I got a Sekoti frame from China, rim brake, and I built it up, and I call it S-Twerks. Okay. I've never ever seen it before. I have an S-Twerks. I sold it to somebody.
Okay.
Basically, gave it to somebody. But yeah, because I couldn't afford all these fancy stuff. So I understand the whole doctor, dentist showing up, much more older guys in their late 30s, early 40s, 50s who can afford stuff because, sometimes you're single, so they can do a little extra to spend on nice toys and stuff.
It was just a joke, They always used to say that as a kid. You don't really know what they mean by it, or like a lawyer or whatever. That was the joke, right?
Yeah,
like, who's buying these?
And now you get to experience yourself.
Yeah.
So total, how many bikes do you have in total?
I think like around 8 or so. Yeah, maybe an extra frame or two sitting around. Like I have some of my original frames from way back in the day too that I've kind of just sit there. I don't think I'm going to probably build them up. They're kind of like little rough.
So you're running what size tires are you running on? You're like 25?
Oh yeah,
still?
that's
28s?
my problem. Yeah, that's the only complaint is the tire width.
So you're doing 25s?
28s on a couple bikes, but yeah, mostly 25s or 26s still. Yeah, I wish I could. That's the only thing I want is bigger tires. But what do you got? You got 28.
Oh, 28s are.
I used to run
25s and I doing 28. I'm like, yeah, this is where it's at, man. 28 is where it's at.
Yeah.
I mean, so this bike can't run. You can't run 28s on this one. You can't run 28s, but I tried 20s. I'm like, I'm not going back. This is a 25 because I bought it and I didn't want to.
Pretty good too.
And I didn't want to so I'm like, I want to kill it. So I still have 28s. It's one of my amazing bikes.
Might rub on the inner chain.
No, it works. Too. It works.
Okay.
28s works on this one. I had it, but I had these 25s that I bought. I'm like, okay, I need to use them. So I'm like, I'll just put them on a bike. So this is the bike it's on right now. This is my work bike.
All right.
But
no, I like it.
It works.
Good. Yeah, right. Same thing. Integrated stem handlebar cockpit. Like there's nothing like, look, these are still, it's like beauty in its functionality, right? There's no complexity to it. It's what a bike really is meant to be.
That's what Patrick, a bike might look ugly or whatever, but if it's functional, it's functional. So I was joking that, look, I might be ugly, but my wife thinks I'm functional. So I'll take it. I will take it any time. Yeah, so you have any plans for this year? Because you mentioned you do some epic ride down in Florida coming up, right?
Yeah, that's something I am. That's like really what I'm training for right now. I've got a couple things on the calendar that I think would for Strava, people would be like, oh, that's going to get some kudos, you guys. Nothing too like, all right, what is the real start? Okay, so going back to Randy and Taylor, my former coach, the former coach of Triple X, Randy has since moved to Asheville, North Carolina. So I think Chicago did him in after a while.
Gotcha. Fair enough.
And my friend Taylor, who I was teammates with, he now lives in, he's a really crazy biker. Both Randy and Taylor, like they're really into cycling. So Taylor was so extreme that he moved to Spain for the fact that it's got better cycling opportunities still nowadays versus the USA. And so I was talking to Taylor and he says, hey, come out and visit me. And I said, I'd love to, whatever. And I said, like, what if we opened it up? Like, can we have more people come maybe at the same time just for fun, right? And it became like, well, not everyone could just wing a trip to Spain in the winter. But we kind of theorized that we could turn it into a training camp. So he's a coach. He coaches for Source Endurance, actually. And so he did. He opened it up to his clients, and then his uncle Randy, he got involved as well because Randy runs cycling camps as his part of his job. So Randy's experience, and Randy knows what he's doing actually. And so we're going to Spain. I leave on Friday.
Wow!
For just a training camp.
I caught him just in the right time before he goes to Spain.
Yeah. So training camp. Like technically, I'm working it, right? I am working. We got a lot of work to do, but so I'm going to be putting in like, whatever, 5, 6, 7 days of big miles, and then come back. And then because I was training, right, I'm like, well, you get all this fitness. What do you do with it? And there's an event in Florida where you ride from Jacksonville to Key West 530 miles without stopping or attempt to set your PR, right? Somebody's done it in like 24 hours. So I don't think I'm going to do it in 24 hours, but then
23?
30 something. I'm going to be honest. I'm not in any rush. I told myself, let's not care. The goal actually is just to get there in one piece.
What's this ride called?
The Florida 500. Gotcha. And the director of that is this guy, Alberto Blanco. So he's a good guy. I met him before, actually. So the only reason I know about this is because I've worked it for a guy. So one guy, he did it on a recumbent bicycle, and I had to drive behind him with two other guys. Yeah, we were SAG on him. And at one point, it was like 4 a.m. We started, I think that you roll out at like 5 a.m. So it's almost a little past 24 hours of going. And all 3 of us were falling asleep driving behind. Like I remember, I remember? I remember waking up a couple hours later and they're yelling at me to like get his food for him. And I was like, they're like, do you remember when Steve's pedals broke? And I was like, no, I don't remember that. I don't remember his
So
pedals. But apparently his pedals broke.
You're doing all these things that are basically kind of like survivor modes. Again, you never know, man.
But it's all cycling. It's all cycling related. That's the goal. Like I'm stoked to just be on the bike for that long. I'm like, I'm hoping I don't fall asleep, but also to me, that's gonna be super fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a friend of mine, Ed Brill, does some ride from somewhere, and I know he finishes in Key West. And
Okay.
It's gonna be like, but it might be the same thing, but I know it is in breaks. But I know you ride from from Sarasota or something, but all the way down to Key West, finishing Key West.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of those rides in Florida. And if you know, but I lived in Miami for like 9 years.
I heard this. Yes,
Yeah,
I have heard. So
I
don't
know a lot of biking people in Florida. I don't know because, but I know the running people. So if you want to talk about the running, like Miami Marathon, run clubs, I Run, Go Run, I know all those people. And the triathletes, Junior, and all Guido, I know.
Okay.
Because I never biked in Miami.
Oh, all right.
Just like you, I couldn't afford a bike. I just couldn't afford a bike in Miami. So I just didn't bike. I always wanted to.
One day.
But I used to go biking, and my friend Sharif Salem gave me a Mongoose road bike.
Okay.
And I would ride my Mongoose mountain bike, should I say, with my friends who were on tri-bikes, and I would keep up with them.
All right. Over like over the bridges.
Oh yeah. No. True story.
Coral Gables. Or
my friend Matt Rosenberg, he had his nice road bike and everything, and I had my mountain bike. And he said to me, "We're gonna go up the Key Biscayne Bridge. So when I go up the bridge, I might drop you, but I'll wait for it on the other side." Okay, that's what he said to me before we started to climb. Funny thing is, I dropped him and I went on the other side. And he was like, "Yeah, but your bike is heavier going down." I'm like, "Bro, like seriously, that's not the reason."
Oh man,
it wasn't clipped in or anything. Right? And I went up the bridge. I went on the other side. True story. You can ask him, Matt Rosenberg. This is the story he had. Other story he had is when I crashed at Bearcut Bridge. My friend Randy Horner, he was on his tri-bike in there and everything, and I was sucking his wheel. And at Bearcut Bridge, you want to cut across to go to the restroom at Bearcut Bridge end. And at the Erasmus campus, University of Miami, and he made a right turn, and he slowed down, not realizing I was on his wheel this entire time holding 24 miles an hour. And my mountain bike and my Mongoose, they were shaking. I was like, I'm not giving up on it. And I clipped his back wheel and then
fuck.
Over.
That's good. That's good. That's a good memory.
And I'm like, this is where I think I'll do pretty good in biking, but then again, dropped it, and I just kept on running.
You cut your teeth there.
Yeah, when I moved here, I can afford a bike because I started making a little bit more money. I went from my first bike to all these bikes you see now, and just bringing my running fitness to biking, and here I am.
Nice, yeah, that's okay. That's epic though. Yeah, that's where you started really. Yeah, the Key Biscayne Bridge.
Yeah. So do you remember?
Is that your first? No, that's like the KOM. You got the KOM.
That day. But I didn't have Garmin. I didn't know anything about Garmin, about GPS stuff. I didn't know about Pulse.
You can always tell your buddy that you beat him that day.
Yeah. I know nothing about those things back in those days. Like seriously, when I moved to Chicago, I started learning about these little things. I mean, like a regular odometer and stuff, and then over time I start learning these different things. So yeah, but here I am.
Now we're in. Yeah, exactly. Now here you are.
So do you ever remember ever writing this? This is actually your quote. It says, "You live multiple lifetimes on this route." Do you remember saying that ever? This is your Strava post, by the way. It was 177 miles.
Yeah. I remember that one. You do actually. That's a good ride.
Yeah. What was this ride? Tell them.
It's Bicycle Illinois. Bicycle Illinois is Rob Layton. He runs this thing, and he's got a whole. I'm not going to tell his thing, but it's called Ride Across Illinois, and you start in Moline, Iowa, or Moline, Illinois, right across the river from Davenport, and it's just a bike ride across Illinois. And the acronym is sweet. It's RAIL, right? RAIL, RAIL, Ride Across Illinois. Mm-hmm. And I've done it now 3 or 4 times, starting in after 2020. So this is like what kind of has kept my career going is working for Rob. So this guy runs 3 or 4 week-long bike tours through the summer. And it's like he does a couple in Wisconsin and a couple in Illinois. And so he does one where you ride from Indiana all the way up to Wisconsin. And I would work those for him. But in this case, he needed me to shuttle some riders' bikes from Chicago to the start. And so I did that. And then he's like, well, instead of paying you, you can just ride back. Like, here, you get free reg. And I'm like, well, at least give me a jersey, right? So he gave me a
Something.
jersey, and then I technically work it, even though I enjoy it. So then I just, you ride across Illinois. That's a great run because
Rail,
you start
okay.
there's a lot of riders in Chicagoland who've done that sort of epic adventure out to the Mississippi and back, and they can attest that you kind of get a lot of the urban, and then you feel the transition into the countryside or vice versa. And
Yeah. So, by the way, I know the Moline area very well because I do a lot of camping. So,
Okay.
so in Davenport area, I've done the. I know you're a runner, so I've seen you do some runs in Strava. You do a lot of running compared to a lot of people.
Only because of cycling. Only because of cycling training.
I saw your numbers. You're pretty solid. So I've done the big 7 in Davenport. Have you heard about that race?
No.
When you run up Brady Street, it's like 7 miles of just like climbing, and there's a hill called Brady Street in Davenport. It's about maybe like 600 meters or whatever. But you climb you go to the top, and you just stop on this barf because it's so hard, and it's an amazing ride. So we do that ride. I've done rides, and then I know the area like in Savannah, in Clinton, Iowa, in Sebula. Those are my streets.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've done many rides and camping in the area. In the Palisades, Galena, Elizabeth. So I know a little bit about the area.
Okay.
Because of camping, and then I'll take my bike.
Oh, all right.
I'll navigate around a little bit.
It's good riding over there, isn't it?
Yeah. No, it's
good camping, I'm sure too.
A lot of we just bought a camper last year too, so a little pop up. It's pretty awesome. King size bed, everything, fridge, everything's inside. It's pretty awesome. So we do that.
Nice.
Yeah. So the other day I was sorry that you actually know Rich Gertie.
Well, Rich and I, we became friends again, probably through my dad, but again through Strava. It's like so much of this world is like when you say Ed Brill as well. Like I don't know if I've really met Ed Brill, but I know of him through Strava. So we've been following each other for a while. So shout out Ed. I've seen I know what he's done in Florida, and it's like Florida. Man, you can't go wrong with South Florida.
Yeah, Rich is awesome. I met him through like 7-Eleven and Wednesday night ride at the end and stuff, and he's just awesome.
Yeah, great guy.
Love his energy.
He wanted to ride with my dad at first, and then that's how he introduced. But he then has become a good friend, and he did Tour de Chi last year. So if you have any questions, you can ask him about it.
So now I know. Yeah. And there's a bunch of people who think ride and do like shapes in Chicago too, right? Then do all these art. I used to do running art when I lived in Miami.
Okay.
I used to do running art. People do riding art, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah, I have seen all that. They did like Illinois. They rode around Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another guy, Kenny LeBay, who I've never met personally. I don't really know him, honestly.
He's more kind of a cyclocross guy, and I'm trying to get Kenny to come, but
is he the guy? Busy. He was on U.S. Postal though, right?
That's right.
Is that story.
He's a legend, man.
Yeah,
he's a legend in these parts.
He was on U.S. Postal Service. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah. I'm working on it. I try to reach out, but let's see if you can get him to make some time. But I've tried. So let's see.
So I want to almost shout out like the origin of my cycling story too. Like when I made that transition into like riding on the bike path and like just falling in love with cycling to then getting into the whole racing obsession of the pro peloton. It was during Lance Armstrong's comeback year in 2009. So that was like a whole thing where a lot of Americans got like caught up in Lance making his comeback, and it's a big thing. And so I was kind of I was doing some research, and apparently it's a thing called the Lance effect, right? So when Lance Armstrong was doing what he was doing, winning the 7 Tour de France's, cycling in America was never been more popular and was growing, and all these events and races were like an extension of Lance bringing cycling to America. And then apparently when he came out and said he was doping, I guess numbers went down indirectly because of that, which I was like, so we're kind of in this weird limbo now.
Right. But people trying to build up cycling again, because again, same thing you talk about like crit racing back in the days, like the pot for crit racing would be like $5,000-$10,000 for winning.
Okay.
Now you get a jersey if you win.
Yeah.
Or like there's like no money.
Yeah.
I mean, there's going to be a race somewhere in town. I think the pot was like $30,000 if you win. And now again, it's like
nothing.
Sprint points, $100 if you can win the sprint in this lap. And it's like, we do get some money, but it's not a lot. And I really hope that, again, what like Triplex is doing, Evolution, 606, all the different groups, OK Cycling, Indigo, I really hope that they can really bring back something, some I mean, the Legion and all these other guys. If I forget the name, it's because I don't remember. But anyway, people are doing things to really get back riding in Chicago. And for
Right.
example, I think Jack Peck, Michigan Avenue Challenge. I think what he's doing with Michigan Avenue Challenge and stuff, I think is just amazing. And I think one day we're going to get back to that level. And it's be great because by that point, I think bikes won't be so expensive. You don't have to be a doctor or lawyer to own a bike because there's so much options out there that you can actually get an affordable bike that perform just as good as a brand name bike. And there's so many brands out there now, so
yeah.
let's see if that can go. So Lawrence was your inspiration.
I wouldn't say he was an inspiration, but I do think that it was like, I remember that summer totally waking up again, like going downstairs and putting on the Tour de France. And it was, and then I was like, I became obsessed with like other guys too, from Andy Schleck to Alberto Contador. And then it was like, I would watch the tour, follow the whole peloton every year, day in and day out. And from Wiggins, then Cadel Evans to Chris Froome era. And then I then kind of took a little break, and then now we're back into it with right now the whole modern era.
Yeah, modern era of like everything is electric bike and electric shifting and all the fancy
flying.
stuff.
They're destroying every record too, like flying up the hills.
Yeah.
But I think that was definitely a moment.
So do you ride any teams now, or you're more just still looking?
I don't, I kind of just focus 100% on this. Okay. And then I would say I don't have the commitment, the time commitment to like give any effort to actual racing anymore. So I don't race. Like I did Monsters last year and the year before because they're local. I could ride to it. But outside of that, it's no
Intelli.
Nah, it's too, I'm not going to take off. I had at one point done the whole 10 days of Intelligentsia, like in 2017. So that's how long back I go now at this point. 2017, I did the whole 10 days.
All 10 days?
All 10 days, yeah. In like the 2-3. So.
Beastin'. That's pretty solid.
That was a lot. And then I think I said probably never again. That was enough.
You were racing for Triplex then, or you were just...
I was with a Colorado club, actually, at that point.
Got you.
Yeah. So then I left Triple X, and I was like kind of team hopping every year for a couple of years. And then I was with this Colorado team, and then they didn't like bring me on for the next year, and then, or they became too big for their britches, we'll say.
Too big for your britches. I like that. Or maybe you became too big for them.
No. They were like probably like, yeah, we don't need you. That was the truth.
Amazing. I like that. So do you do any indoor riding?
I've been training as much as I can right now because I figured I'm training for training camp. But other than that, like that's why I've been running, right? So now I'm a runner because I cannot bring myself to get on the trainer. Like, it's just like, I just don't have it in me anymore.
You don't own a trainer or?
Oh, I do. Yeah. I got a rear wheel, not like, probably similar to what you
drive. You have a direct drive?
Yeah. Direct drive. Whatever the green brand is, I forget the name, like Trax, maybe not Trax.
Oh, Tax
maybe.
It's gray and blue, I think, or maybe
no, it's black and green. And it's nothing's fancy, just totally wind or magnet resistance.
Okay, so it's not a smart trainer.
No,
gotcha. So you haven't got hooked in the Ruvi, My Whoosh, Zwift World as yet.
I did My Whoosh because it does read power, but it doesn't react to any sort of elevation change. Nothing like that. It's just.
Need to get you on Zwift, man.
I did Zwift. I was on Zwift. But again, I couldn't. You couldn't pay me to do Zwift for more than like a couple, like maybe a half an hour.
Half an hour, yeah.
Like, it's all right.
I'm on it because it's the only time I can spend, so I don't get dropped too fat quickly when it warms up.
Oh yeah,
it keeps me going.
Yeah, no, it's good. I wish I could do it. I wish I had it in me. Instead, I will go out. In this past week, it's like 35 degrees, and I left work, and it's so cold. But I'm like, I got to get some miles in. So I'm like, all right, well, I'm just gonna ride home 40 miles in my standard jacket and jeans.
How was that?
I made it. It was all right. Actually, once you get going, I didn't even have I had gym shoes on because it's like, I feel like gym shoes keep your feet a little warmer. and I'm on my just like regular pedals with.
Oh, using flat pedals. Gotcha. No clip-ins.
No, I'm on clip-ins. I'm on my clip-in road bike, but I didn't even bother putting cycling shoes on. I'm just in gym shoes,
You're a legend.
jeans. I'm like, this is at least it's miles, you know.
You're a legend. And with a good, I guess if you have a tailwind, it's even better because man, like
It's
those.
like nighttime, and you're on the, yeah,
You're-
exactly.
You're a legend. I think, man, you're made for Survivor. they need to do something.
Yeah. Well, I find to myself, it's like ironically, like this is more than Survivor, right? Like this is like the thinking, and you got to like this, like do work and things like that, or team building. So I don't need to be. I'd rather just take a month off of work and go go on a beach. You know, I don't want to actually be on where they are filming you and stuff like that. I don't know about that anymore.
Gotcha. So we're gonna see your naked.
We're going to Spearfish in Jamaica, right?
Hey,
that's where we're going.
If I'm going to Jamaica, you want to come with me? You let me know. If you go to Jamaica, let me know, and I can tell you, hey, go to Portland. Because no, I'm serious. So one of my classmates, Leon Garrell. So we went to high school together. She came live in DC, moved back to Jamaica, and her family have a diving company.
Okay.
And she's involved in restoring after the coral reefs in Jamaica that got damaged. So that's her entire thing her family does, and they do like tours and different things. And it was so awesome that when they did the James Bond movie, the last one, the diving scene and stuff, she helped them to do the diving scene to make it look realistic and everything like that. And because of that, when they did Avatar, We Have the Water, whatever that one was, she was flown to Atlanta to help them on the set.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty cool. So she's in Jamaica. Go to Jamaica, you let me know. She'll take care of you. I promise you. That's like my G right there. That's a really, really good friend of mine.
Okay.
I go to Portland, you go catch fish, spearfish, whatever you want. Because
yeah, let's go.
That's what I do. I don't do the tour. I don't do the tourist stuff in Jamaica. I mean, people say, "Oh, you go to Montego Bay," and I'm like, "That's tourist. Let's go to where I grew up. Let's go where the native go." Okay. And that's where we'll.
Man, this is like keep on the DL, you know.
Yeah. No, that's what people know. I mean, I got middle links. So trust me, Jamaica. That's my home. That's my home. I mean, I've spent more than half my life in the US. I'm basically more or less American and Americanized, but Jamaica is home. Okay. And I remember all the things. I teach my kids all the little tricks of doing crazy stuff and how to light a fire to catch animals and history of the different plants and what to do with them. And I try to teach my kids. I know these things.
Yeah. Oh,
so seriously,
you might have to do the Survivor Challenge on the lakefront.
Yeah, I wish.
Omar.
I prefer to do it naked on the lawn.
We can do it. Oh, that would be crazy.
I'd be like, "This is Omar."
All the cyclists are out there.
Click sounds and everything.
We're in our tights.
Yeah. Maybe one day. But yeah, it was awesome to talk to you, get to learn about you and your engineering degree, using it. You're going to do some amazing. You have your own ride that basically serendipitously came together from just like things happening, and this is how life works out. Sometimes life chooses path, and you just have to don't go and get the gradient. Just go with the gradient. And I think this has great potential. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, oh man, this is pretty awesome. And you're
I hope it does good for the city too. You know, I think at the end of the day, that's what people want, right? It's like it shows off Chicago. So if it does good for Chicago, that would be cool too.
Everybody wins.
Yeah,
everybody wins, and I'm looking forward to June. I'll be training. I've done the triple X.
Oh, no problem. If anything, like it might be one of those rides where people are like wearing street clothes and stuff too. You know, it's kind of like party vibes too.
And jorts, wearing jorts and coming out.
Have fun wearing jorts for 10 hours. You can have at it. Who's going to be the first person to do the whole thing on a divvy bike? Nobody's done that yet. So. That could be a challenge for somebody. Gets people thinking.
And cyclists are kind of so they'll trust me, they'll become very creative.
Or run the wole thing too. That hasn't been done yet either.
Well, I know there's a guy that's working on running all the streets in Chicago.
I know, yeah. Right? Can he do the whole thing in a day?
150
I think you
miles?
could, if you ran it, you could probably really reduce the mileage. Probably get it under 100, which I think somebody could do then if it was like 100 miles. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think runners do that, right?
Yeah, ultra running. I used to do ultra. I used to do 50K every Friday night when I lived in Miami. 50K. 31 miles. And I used to run my birthday in miles and my birthday every day from 31 to 38.
Oh, wow.
And I am probably the first and only person to ever run Miami Marathon. I ran the half marathon, finished, I ran the full marathon. I have the medals.
No way.
Yeah.
What? You did a half marathon? No way, that's crazy. You just said I'm going to run it again.
I sure done did that.
That's hilarious.
No,
Holy shit.
again, running was my thing back in the days. Like all those medals, you know, you see, like from Fort Lauderdale stuff to all over the place. Yeah, yeah.
The dolphin baby.
I've paced, done a lot of pacing, running, and all sort of different things. First place winner, and also
You were Serena Williams'
right.
pacer.
You see the medal? Can you see the medal right there?
Oh, there it is, right?
Yeah, you can pick it up. Show them. Yeah, here it is. It says right there their name on it.
Serena Williams. So she actually ran a marathon?
No, it was a quarter marathon. It's like
Quarter.
6 point change miles.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I was her pacer trying to, help
Oh,
her
wow.
through everything. And
Oh, come on. That's a
Talk
piece
to
of
her.
cake, Serena. You could have done longer than that, right?
it was a charity run and different
Oh,
things.
all right.
So I think those should be on that fast.
She runs like that in a tennis match, right?
Easily.
Yeah, easy.
But running back and forth versus straight is like two different beasts. So
Got it.
and there's no breaks, there's nothing as a running, and she did fantastic.
Nice.
She's
sick.
and she's good. She's good people. She's good people. Yeah. So one more thing before. So when you ride in Chicago, like what are the routes that you typically ride on?
I kind of go. I like going to the south side, honestly. My favorite ride right now in Chicago is I go south towards like Lamont area, Willow Springs, which people traditionally called DeLuca back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like with Willow Springs, there's that loop out there and you get a little bit more elevation. There's a couple like hills by Lamont, but then I cut it south and I take the Calsag Trail, cut it east, and then there's some bikes path systems that go through Tinley Park into Homewood that are really nice. Totally like out of the way, you're more remote. And I think I'm like at 180th Street, and then I cut east for a while. I don't know where you kind of get lost through Lansing Woods, and then it spits you out right at the border of Illinois and Indiana, south of Hammond. And then you could run it north into Wolf Lake, into the lakefront. And it's like by the time you hit the lakefront south coming home, you're about 80 miles in. So it's like epic. Like you've been out all day adventuring, and then you're on the lakefront again.
All right. I'm a handshake right now. We're gonna do some rides together when it warms up.
All right.
I want to do some epic rides with you because I'm looking for stuff like this. I've done all the rides in Chicago, but I need to see more. I think there's more to riding here than I've seen.
Okay.
So far.
Yeah, I got a couple. That's my favorite locally out of Chicago. So we could leave it at, and then if we come up with some other ones, I don't want to.
All right.
It'll be a surprise.
Let's do it. I'm surprising because I as long as I say I tell my wife,
I gotta get the free time. I am busy.
Take the day off. I have a day off. I can take the day off anytime. And we can just go. If it's warm and nice, I say, I'm not going to work today. I'm out and I go bike and I come home. And because my kids are older, they can go to school by themselves and come home, so I don't have to be here. So that was my biggest limitation for a long time.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do anything. I think I told a story like when I showed up to 7-Eleven one time, one guy thought I was a bum trying to get a beer. But I'm like, bro, my kids are home, they're young. And because 7-Eleven is right, it's just right.
Give me a beer. You're just showing up. Oh my God.
I was just showing up because I know some of the guys. I was going to say hi. And they're like, I'm not trying to get a beer, man. Until I was able to ride with them. And then here we are 3 or 4 years later doing what we're doing. And again, anything you want to leave us with before we wrap up? Anything? A word of encouragement. What keeps you going?
Just keep the rubber side down. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Simple. And that's the rule that we live by. And we're gonna keep it going. A lot of great things to come. I'm looking forward to watch this grow and just to hear about your stories and say hi to Pops. Thanks for the beer. Red Stripe. Level the vibes, as they say. Red Stripe helping the white man for 50 years. That's one of the slogans that they had when they drank the beer. So thank you so much. It was awesome, guys. Let's keep the miles and smiles going, guys. We had Ben today, and it was kind of really nice to learn about him. So he fits in, and he's going to grow the sport, and let's see how it plays out. So as we come to an end, guys, as I said, keep the miles and smiles going. Until we meet again, guys.